I mean, I was a size 24. I got home and I was a 16. Thanks. I'm like, so for us, like, I don't think my parents ever blamed themselves, and I don't think yours did either, but, like, I was kind of the black sheep. I mean, my family's, like, pretty average sized, and when my dad said, you know, no job is worth you not taking these 4 months and being able to kind of emulate the ranch at home, and so that's when my family kind of stepped in, and it's like, who has a support system like that? Like, no one else on our cast was able to come home and, like, quit their jobs and be like, okay, and that's why, you know, like, when we came out that night on stage, I mean, people were blown away because it was like, how did she go home? How did he go home? And how did they lose like 50 some odd more pounds like in regular life? Again, like, don't expect that to happen. But what we like to do is now tell people like what we've learned, like you can implement that into your real life.
Absolutely. I think a lot of the problems with the infrastructure of not the educational system, but the misinformation that's given. If you ask a 12-year-old what 8 times 8 is, they're going to give you the right answer. But if you ask them how many calories is in an orange, they're going to fumble all over themselves. These are the kinds of things that kind of get thrown to the wayside and is also a part of the obesity problem in our state and, you know, states surrounding, especially in the Southeast. Kids are not armed with the knowledge that they need to go out and make the right choices. Kids, you know, they follow the leader. They see what their friends do. They watch what their parents eat. If you're sitting around eating buffet food stuff and all the time, going out to dinner all the time, watching your friends eat Captain Crunch for breakfast, 2 or 3 bowls, you know that it adds up. It adds up and it adds up until you have a 300-pound 5th grader, and it's more prevalent today than it was 10, 20 years ago. So these things about caloric intake and energy exertion and expenditure are not in the textbooks. But, you know, we're the adults. It's up to us to give them, you know, the knowledge and the tools they need to succeed, not just scholastically, but, you know, physically as well. You know, we are the examples. They watch us. They watch everything they do. They watch everything we do. So it's important for us to give them the tools they need, you know, and it has everything to do with the food that you put into your mouth. So it's I would love to see like this sea change and more emphasis put on nutrition and stuff in the curriculum, in our state's curriculum, because it is probably one of the more integral parts, not just physical exercise. It's 50-50. You got to have the nutrition with the exercise.
We always say, I mean, obviously, like, we're an example of kind of the extraordinary. I mean, people usually don't just set out. I'm trying to think, this time last year, what's today? This time last year, we were in Los Angeles in a hotel room, 7 days. We weren't even allowed to have our own key. This is how they cast the show. We were only allowed to eat takeout. It's like they were trying to fatten us up for the beginning of the season. And I'm like, what are we going to do? Like, if we don't get this opportunity, and it was like we attended a casting in Charlotte for the show, and it was pouring rain, and it was like this sea of people that were just like begging for this to be like their opportunity. And I personally went around to every single person. It took me 6 hours in the rain, and just wanted to meet them all and make them feel like this is something that's attainable. It's attainable for everybody. It's just not. I mean, when I was 300 pounds, I heard people say exercise, eat right, and I was like, sure. Like, you know, okay, sounds easy enough. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you're 300 pounds, it's like you're not even poking a light into the tunnel. It's like, who cares if you lose 2 pounds every week at Weight Watchers? That's what I was thinking. I'd lose 12 and be like, nah. Now I get like a cheeseburger and a glass of wine, and I get to reward myself. And it was just making an entire life change. I mean, we just got back from vacation in Puerto Rico. Did we have pina coladas every day? Absolutely. Did we exercise every day? Absolutely. Have we ever done that on vacation? No way. Not a chance. I mean, I was like, pina coladas, whatever else we could get our hands on at every other vacation. But this one was different because now I'm fearless. Now Ed's fearless. I mean, we were like snorkeling in the ocean and hiking in the rainforest, and our friends have changed too. I mean, that's the thing people don't need to be afraid of. I was afraid that it was going to be like, well, now I'm not like the huge fat friend. Like what's going to happen? And instead, I'm learning that there's more to my whole life as a whole. I mean, these people that we love that supported us have actually tapped into our new lifestyle, if you will. You know, inviting us hiking and on these other kinds of things. So, were you going to say something?